Welcome to the Natural Health Show with one of New England's leading holistic specialists, Mark Mincola. Call Mark at 617-822-1969 on 96.9 Boston Talks.
Greetings and welcome home, Natural Health Nation. Great to have you on board here on 96.9 Boston Talks. You are listening to the Natural Health Show. My name is Mark Mincola, and I hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend. Gorgeous, gorgeous weekend. Hope you're enjoying it, and we're here to talk with you about health-related issues, natural health issues, nutrition issues, weight loss, etc. Questions from your end of things regarding vitamins, health food store issues, etc. We're here for that. You want to give us a call in Boston and New England, 617-822-1969. Verizon Wireless users, it's a free call for y'all. Pound at 96.9. You know, this past Thursday on my Fox morning segment, we did an interesting segment that was about new research from the University of Illinois regarding fiber. Now, you know, we all know fiber is good for us. We all know that it helps the intestines, etc., etc. We also probably been hearing more and more lately about the importance of fiber to prevent colorectal cancer, etc. And we've also heard an awful lot lately about the fact that we're not getting enough of that fiber. You know, a lot of us, of course, do focus, I think, for the most part, on our fruits, our veggies, our whole grain products, but still, the average American is only consuming 14 grams of fiber a day. And to prevent colorectal cancer, it's recommended that we consume 25 to 30 grams of fiber. We're not even close. We're getting about half the fiber we need. But again, this recent study that I spoke of this past Thursday on Fox 25, this recent University of Illinois study, speaks about the importance of fiber as anti-inflammatory and actually boosting the immune system. There's an anti-inflammatory protein in the body called interleukin-4. And these Illinois researchers found that the soluble fiber in apples not only help us with regards to our intestines, but help us with regards to our immune system and increase the anti-inflammatory properties of the immune system. And we've talked about fiber on this program in the past, similarly, that it has tremendous immune properties. I spoke not too many shows back about the tumor progression research at the Metastasis Laboratory at Detroit's Barbara Ann Karamanos Cancer Institute. Dr. Avram Raz and his colleagues recently discovered that modified citrus pectin, or the pectin from citrus, which is the same kind of soluble fiber that apples have, no different, can significantly reduce both the size and number of tumors in animal studies. And in order for cancer cells to spread or metastasize, they first require these very sticky, sugary proteins called surface galactans to root themselves to the blood vessel walls. That's where metastasizing then can take place. And Dr. Raz, in his research, again found that the pectin actually eradicates the surface galactan agents that hold on to these cancer cells and enable them to metastasize. So we're talking with you today about fiber in very broad spectrum applications for immune support. Again, fiber is really the new superstar when it comes to the anti-cancer research that we're speaking of this evening, as well as building up the interleukin-4 proteins in the body, supporting immunity. Fiber is quite the issue when it comes to natural health, and again, Americans are not getting enough of it. Real important issues. There are some great fibers that we can supplement our diet with that are readily available at the health food store that can help make a big, big difference with regards to immunity. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk with you about your questions. Any questions regarding natural health, vitamins, minerals, nutrition, diets, etc. We're here to take your natural health and your natural medicine questions. In Boston and New England, 617-822-1969. And again, Verizon Wireless users, it's a free call. Just dial pound 96.9. My name is Mark Mincola. You're listening to The Natural Health Show. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
It's not a website. It's a calling. online and on demand.
96.9.
BostonTalks.com.
Did you get enough lutein today to support eye health? Probably not. Lutein and zeaxanthin help preserve our ability to focus and differentiate colors. Most Americans consume only 2 milligrams per day. Yet populations with good eye health often consume 6 to 20 milligrams to protect the macula of the eye against oxidative stress and aging. But not to worry, Vision Optimizer from Jarrow Formulas supplies lutein, zeaxanthin, and 13 other vitamins, phytonutrients, and herbs that support eye health and function. These include ingredients such as New Zealand blackcurrant extract with powerful polyphenol antioxidants that reduce eye fatigue and promote eye comfort, and herbs such as grapeseed extract, eyebright, and ginkgo biloba to promote circulation and blood vessel integrity with the addition of alpha-lipoic acid to protect the lens of the eye. Ask for Vision Optimizer at your local health food store, or for more information, go to jarrow.com. That's Jarrow for the best in eye health formulas.
Make plans now for a day with Joan Borisenko. Hear Joan Borisenko Sunday, August 7th at the John F. Kennedy Middle School in Waltham. Joan Borisenko is acknowledged as one of the world's greatest leaders and distinguished pioneer in integrative medicine and the mind-body connection. Joan Borisenko's groundbreaking book, Minding the Body, Mending the Mind, revolutionized our awareness of the mind-body connection a few years back. Now, Joan's new book, Fried, Why You Burn Out and How to Thrive, is here. Joan will share up-to-the-minute spiritual inspiration coming from her own process in a unique presentation, Reviving Your Life, with a book signing to follow. Register for Joan Borisenko on myhealthylivingmag.com. General admission is just $39. Program begins at 2 p.m. Call 781-834-2728 for tickets. That's 781-834-2728. This is your chance to see Joan Borisenko live Sunday, August 7th at the John F. Kennedy Middle School in Waltham. Register at myhealthylivingmag.com. Come learn how to revive your own life energy.
Now back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover.
In Boston and New England, 617-822-1969. Verizon Wireless users, free call, pound 96.9. We're here to take your questions regarding natural health. Before we do that, we want to kind of tune back in here to the theme we wanted to speak of this evening, and that is fiber. You know that fiber, again, has kind of been I guess it's been a boring kind of issue. Folks say, fiber, boring. It's all about just making sure you get enough fruits, vegetables, whole grain products, making sure the bowel is working, etc. And I guess the big point here is there's so much more to the fiber issue than just that. Certainly, again, we spoke of the University of Illinois study, the brand new study that's out and about right now, talking about how the soluble fiber in apples actually changing, folks, the personality of immune cells. That's exactly what the study's author said, and the exact words used by the study's author, that the researchers say that the soluble fiber in apples actually changes the personality of our immune cells from angry inflammatory cells to healthy anti-inflammatory cells. And that's what we're talking fiber. So again, fiber has a remarkably dimensional approach to supporting our immune system, so much more than we tend to think of. Again, we just tend to think of something that strafes and cleans out the intestines, but so much more than that. Also, again, I wanted to reiterate here that one of my favorite studies, actually, Dr. Avram Raz, R-A-Z, from the Detroit's Barbara Ann Karamenos Cancer Institute, specifically the Tumor Progression Metastases Laboratory, at the Detroit's Barbara Ann Karamenos Institute, recently studied modified pectin in the form of citrus pectin, found that citrus pectins consistently broke down the galactins that attach to tumors, and in so doing blocked the tumors from attaching to one another and to the cell walls of blood vessels. Unlike present chemotherapies that seek to destroy cancer cells, the researchers found that the citrus pectins stop the cancer cells from gathering into tumors and spreading throughout the body. And what's more, they ultimately starve the already existing tumors by preventing them to growing new blood vessels. So that's fiber, folks, we're talking about. Let's get to your calls. Bill from Taunton, welcome to 96.9 Boston Talk Show and the Natural Health Show.
Yes, hi, Mark. I have a follow-up question, which I wasn't sure if I'd ask, but it has to do with fiber, and it's in follow-up to a recommendation that you made a few weeks ago. I had called about a condition that I've had for my whole life where if I eat too much sugar, I get a lot of tingling and itching in my skin. And you recommended grapefruit seed extract. And I did get some, and what I then read shortly after is that, which was sort of related to, as you called it, it's similar to a candida problem. And what I read somewhere was that with some people, or in some cases, that even though the grapefruit seed extract may get rid of the fungus or bacteria, whatever that's created by the sugar, your body may not be able to expel it, the toxins left over quick enough or flush them out, so you have to add fiber. And I was wondering, is there a difference between, what is it, psyllium or...
Yeah, I mean, there are a number of different fibers. Soluble fibers are the real heavy, denser fibers that tend to get the job done. Psyllium is certainly a soluble fiber. There's one that I like also called Profib. Profib is a fruit fiber that's a soluble fruit fiber concentrate, such as we're discussing. And also, you can certainly, of course, get apple pectin at virtually any health food store. You can either buy 500 milligram capsules, or you can get the bulk fiber itself. But psyllium is great. A lot of folks, of course, nowadays are using a variety of different fibers, and there's all kinds of gourmet fibers and formulas that are available on the shelves of the health food stores. But psyllium is about as good as it's going to get. And again, apple pectin and the Profib fiber as well. So, in terms of the specifics that I mentioned a minute ago, the remarkable studies that were done at the Karamanos Cancer Institute, the type of fiber that was breaking down the metastases response in these animal studies, and breaking down these surface galactans, or these protonated sugars that allow for cancer to set up shop, so to speak. We're talking about modified citrus pectin. A lot of fiber inside the oranges, the grapefruits, that white stuff that everybody always throws away in the middle, the pulp of your orange or your grapefruit. That is citrus pectin. So they're making modified citrus pectin powders out of that stuff, and it's a powerful soluble fiber that actually not only cleans the intestines like we're talking about, but also cleans out the blood vessels. So I think that the soluble fiber that is fruit pectin fibers, I think, they kind of have a double-pronged support system for us, not just the bowel, but blood vessels as well.
Okay, and the last question is what I've read about things like psyllium, or I guess any bulk fiber, might be that if you let it sit in, and like if you mix it in with a beverage and you let it sit for too long, then it starts to solidify? Yeah,
it turns into concrete. Yeah, no, I'm serious. You want to take that stuff down pretty quickly. If you're going to do the psylliums in some of these pectin or fibrous powders, you want to make sure that once you've added that water and stirred it vigorously, it goes right down the hatch, because it does expand quite dramatically, and it does gel right up on you.
Okay, but the apple pectin is just as effective, or maybe more so?
Well, once again, I think that, if you want a 2-for-1 deal, you're looking for the kind of modified fruit pectins that have the ability not just to flush out the intestines, but also to keep the blood vessels clean as well.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much
again. Thank you so much for calling. Appreciate it. Once again, our numbers in Boston, New England, 617-822-1969. Verizon Wireless users free call pound 969. And, of course, my name is Mark Mincola, and you're listening to The Natural Health Show. So we are here to cover your questions, to answer those questions regarding natural medicine, vitamins, food supplements, etc. And we're also here to talk to you a little bit about fiber tonight from the perspective that many of you have not even considered. And once again, strengthening the immune system, absolutely true. Neutralizing a lot of obesity-related issues, also true, because one of the things that the fruit fibers that we're talking about, the soluble apple pectins, etc., is they're actually, we talked about brown fat versus white fat, good fat, bad fat. The white fat actually is a fat that actually supports the obesity process in the body, that actually also increases cholesterols, triglycerides, undesirable fats. So these undesirable lipids that build up in the arteries and build up in the tissues of the body are really very seriously problematic for all of us. And again, the pectin is one of those antagonistic agents that neutralizes and kind of wraps up a lot of that fat, pulls it out of the arteries, pulls it out of the body. So it has a really therapeutic effect that goes beyond just cleansing the bowel. All right, let's get back over to your calls. We got Mary on the line from Hull. Welcome to 96.9 Boston Talks. You're on the Natural Health Show.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for taking my call.
Pleasure.
Always a happy holiday weekend to you.
Thank you so much.
Quick question about the apple pectin now. For folks who are taking the statin drugs and they're supposed to avoid grapefruit, is this something to try and avoid in that ProFibe? Is that a grapefruit product?
No, actually it's not. The ProFibe is actually, it's got a number of different other fruits in there. There's not citrus fruit in there. But it has similar effects in terms of its ability to keep the surface galactans at bay. So here's the one thing you want to keep thinking of. One of the most important things to keep in mind about these pectins, they're real efficient at kind of ensconcing and wrapping up these undesirable arterial products and intestinal byproducts and escorting them out of the body. So they're great detox agents. The problem is they can also wrap up a lot of medications and supplements. So I always say one of the most important things around pectins is the time of day that they're taken. So ideally you want to be taking pectin before bed at night. You know, you're taking your medicines, your supplements earlier in the day, and in order to keep from wrapping those up and escorting them out of the body, because obviously you want your supplements and your medicines to take effect,
right.
Where you want the toxins wrapped up and removed, you're better off to take those pectin supplements at night before bed.
And the apple works just as well as any other.
Yeah, it does indeed. Absolutely. I mean, the soluble fiber is the real key here, and pectin is the second part of it. So not all fibers have pectin. Fruit fibers do, and that's really what we're talking about tonight, is the difference between insoluble versus soluble, the difference between pectin-based fibers and non-pectin-based fibers. But the fruit fibers, and again, apple pectin is about as simple as it gets, are very, very powerful. That, you know, the other thing we have not mentioned too is that the pectin has been studied extensively in many years gone by as far as being a very effective agent at pulling toxic metals like aluminum, beryllium, lead, mercury out of the body. And we've all got toxic metals. So, you know, a lot of folks are kind of saying, hey, wait a minute, I don't have to worry about things like mercury. Well, we all do. There's mercury, lead, aluminum, beryllium, mercury, arsenic. All these products these toxins, I should say, are very much involved in our lifestyle. They're part and parcel of a lot of the unnatural products and exposures that we encounter throughout the week. So they do build up in the tissues, and again, pectin is a great way to get them out.
If my husband is allergic to apples, it's Laetrile, I believe, and apple seeds. Is that pectin? Is that apple pectin something he would be okay with? Do you think?
If he's allergic to the apples themselves, yes. If he's allergic only to the apple seeds and the Laetrile element, then he shouldn't be.
Okay, and one last related sort of question regarding bioflavonoids, because I think that they typically do include the grapefruit extract.
That is true.
I mean, among other citruses. But is that something that, say, my dad on statin, should he be careful with bioflavonoids?
Yes, he probably should. And, you know, there's a number of different types of fiber, of course. There are saponins, saponins also. You know, things like flax seeds, ground flaxseed might be a better option for him.
Sure, great. Well, thank you so much, and have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too. Thanks so much for calling. Bye-bye. All right, once again, in Boston and New England, 617-822-1969. Verizon Wireless users, free call pound 96.9. We got Dean in Amherst. Welcome to 96.9 Boston Talks here on the Natural Health Show.
Yes, thank you for taking my call.
Pleasure.
I'll ask the question, then take the answer offline.
Sure.
Could you please just speak your thoughts on peripheral neuropathy, and I don't have any kind of diabetes.
Okay.
But it's advanced in its hands and feet and legs.
Okay. Peripheral neuropathy, absolutely, yes. Well, one of the things that you want to be thinking of here is you want to be thinking from a nutritional perspective, certainly about vitamin B12. In fact, we had Catherine Foley on from Jarrow Formulas last Sunday sharing the air with us, and we talked extensively about the methyl METHYL form of B12. And that's really an important distinction. First of all, B12 is real important for folks with neuropathies. Number two, the methyl form of B12 is about the only type of B12 that's really going to support the central nervous system. So that's an extremely important nutritional fact. And I wouldn't hesitate to use a highly absorbable form. One of the ones that we, of course, recommend here is the Jarrow, Jarrow, Jarrow Methyl B12. It's 5,000 mcg. Highly recommended for folks with neuropathies, and again, a great support to the central nervous system. All right, we're going to take a short little break. We'll be right back with your calls right after these messages.
Boston Talks, mornings with Jim and Marjorie.
On the next Jim and Marjorie, we'll discuss adventures from your first 3-day summer weekend.
And at 7:45, the Boston Herald's Lauren Beckham Falcone, our pop culture watcher. And at 8 o'clock, CNN's John King.
Jim and Marjorie, now at their new time. Weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on 96.9 Boston Talks. Questioning authority is a Boston tradition, and the tradition lives on right here.
Any questions?
96.9 Boston Talks.
You know, when most people hear the word allergies, they think only of hay fever-like symptoms associated with airborne pollen, dust, and mold. But did you know that many experts estimate that between 60 and 80 million of us suffer from immune-related food allergies without even knowing it? Furthermore, food allergies often contribute to serious health problems such as autism, irritable bowel syndrome, ADD, headaches, and chronic ear infections. Now, there's an effective way to identify and eliminate both your food allergies and the troubling symptoms that they aggravate. Allotest Medical Labs at foodallergy.com offers a full complement of clinical, environmental, and food allergy testing to help you get to the root of your allergy problems. Allotest also provides you with a comprehensive rotation diet, lifestyle booklet, and a wallet card to help you live food allergy-free and stress-free. Do you wonder if you or your loved ones are among the 60 to 80 million food allergy sufferers in America? If so, log on to Allotest Medical Labs, foodallergy.com. Talk to your doctor about ordering a food allergy test from Allotest Medical Labs today. Foodallergy.com. Make sure the food you're eating isn't what's depleting you.
There's a fine balance between what's best for your landscape and what's best for your family. This is why Aspen Environmental Services of New England is proud to be an industry leader in the use of environmentally responsible products for outdoor pest control, tree and shrub spraying and injecting. Applications control Lyme disease ticks, caterpillars, adelgids, and 200 other pests that damage landscape. Visit the plant healthcare professionals at treeandlawncare.com. That's treeandlawncare.com. Or call 888-418-BUGS and mention Candida because listeners get a 10% discount. That's 888-418-BUGS. treeandlawncare.com. Get them before they get you.
Make plans now for a day with Joan Borisenko. Hear Joan Borisenko Sunday, August 7th at the John F. Kennedy Middle School in Waltham. Joan Borisenko is acknowledged as one of the world's greatest leaders and distinguished pioneer in integrative medicine and the mind-body connection. Joan Borisenko's groundbreaking book, Minding the Body, Mending the Mind, revolutionized our awareness of the mind-body connection a few years back. Now, Joan's new book, Fried, Why You Burn Out and How to Thrive, is here. Joan will share up-to-the-minute spiritual inspiration coming from her own process in a unique presentation, Reviving Your Life, with a book signing to follow. Register for Joan Borisenko on myhealthylivingmag.com. General admission is just $39. Program begins at 2 p.m. Call 781-834-2728 for tickets. That's 781-834-2728. This is your chance to see Joan Borisenko live Sunday, August 7th at the John F. Kennedy Middle School in Waltham. Register at myhealthylivingmag.com. Come learn how to revive your own life energy.
Now, back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover.
In Boston and New England, 617-822-1969. Verizon wireless users. Free call pound 96.9. Let's go to Brenda in Rhode Island. Welcome to 96.9 Boston Talks. You're in the Natural Health Show.
Hi, how are you?
Terrific. How are you?
It's nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you as well.
I have two questions. Have you heard of the new Acel CoQ10, and do you recommend it?
Well, I've not heard of that specific type, but the type of CoQ10 that I recommend, you may have listened to the show a couple weeks back. Mm-hmm. We had an expert on from Jar Formulas out in California.
Right.
And he talked a great deal about the latest research about the ubiquinol versus the ubiquinone.
Yeah.
And the real key here is the ubiquinol is up to 450% more absorbable than the ubiquinone. And a lot of folks are just kind of buying whatever kind of CoQ10 is on the shelves out there.
Right.
But the Jar Formulas company makes a real absorbable ubiquinol, and make sure it's got that OL on the end, which indicates that it has an alcohol base. So ubiquinol, and 100 to 200 milligrams a day is pretty much a standard dose. But I don't know the type you're referencing, but as long as it's a ubiquinol, I think you're in pretty good shape, 100 to 200 milligrams.
Okay. All right, my other question is, what do you recommend as far as a metabolism booster?
Well, first of all, I think the most important thing is nutritionally, you got to support yourself with what you're eating. In other words, we know that a number of different foods that are heavy in their starch and sugar concentrations, even white flour products, things like that, have a real propensity to drive up our insulin levels. Well, you drive up insulin and you're storing fat, and fat's going to slow down the metabolism, clearly.
Right.
So the objective is to kind of make sure that you're producing a higher level of a hormone called glucagon, and the best way to really produce a fast and a really active and an efficient metabolism is to make sure you're producing more glucagon and less insulin. So the way to do that, of course, is a lot of lean protein, a lot of vegetables, fruits for snacks. So I'd start nutritionally from that perspective. Now, from a supplement perspective, I think there's a number of different ways that we can do that. My favorite way is to mediate cortisol. And the best way to do that I know of is there's a company called New Chapter. New Chapter makes a terrific herbal product called Holy Basil, B-A-S-I-L. Now, Holy Basil has nothing to do with what we season our foods with, a completely different herb. A lot of folks are confused by that. But Holy Basil has been studied extensively overseas as a very viable means of mediating cortisol, which is a stress hormone that kind of sends us on these highs and lows and really kind of depletes our metabolism and really takes the efficiency out of metabolism. So I'd say 2 to 3 of those a day is a great way to kind of neutralize that component of stress hormone production and allows us, with that kind of diet that I highlighted, to really be more effective.
Now, do these need to be taken with food or on an empty stomach?
Well, in general, herbs are going to be more effectively assimilated without food in their way.
Okay.
So typically, the rule of thumb is most vitamins do pretty well with foods and most herbs do pretty well on an empty stomach. So I would recommend the 3 new Holy Basil caps by New Chapter on an empty stomach, and again, a lot of lean protein, vegetables, and fruits, and be careful of those starches.
Okay, now the vegetables, are they better cooked or raw?
Well, and I think the key there, too, is if you're going to cook them, don't overcook them. Steaming has been shown to actually increase some of the vitamin elements. Like if you take a carrot, for example. A carrot, when it's raw, has a lot of raw foods have a lot of enzymes, of course, and that's really the advantage of raw foods.
Right.
But if you take a raw carrot, you're talking 3,000 units of vitamin A. You steam it for 10 minutes, and the vitamin A goes from 3 to 9,000 units.
Wow.
So there's a higher yield of vitamin A. Now, so again, with a little bit of heating application, you do have a way of extricating and enhancing some of the availability, the bioavailability of some of the nutrients without killing the enzymes. You're not overcooking it to the point where you're wiping out the enzymes. You've still got enzymes if you steam, but you have more vitamins.
Right, cool. Okay, I think that about does it.
All right. Well, thanks so much for calling, and have a great weekend.
Oh, you're welcome. You do as well.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Let's go to Karen in Malden. Welcome to 96.9 Boston Talks. You're in the Natural Health Show.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
I have a problem with sleeping. I'm having some insomnia. I think it's from perimenopause, possibly like I'm getting hot at night.
Right.
Really restless, and I don't know what to take. I've tried some black cohosh, but I don't know if I'm taking enough or if I need to take something else.
I'll tell you what, couple things. First of all, if you're really having trouble sleeping because of the perimenopausal symptoms and the hot flashes and the night sweats and that sort of business, then we got to get to the root of the problem. Chances are better than good that you'll sleep a little bit better if we could take care of some of those symptoms. So number one, I would suggest that you think about doing a transdermal approach here. So transdermals mean these are highly absorbable herbal substances that you can rub on your skin.
Okay.
And they're readily absorbed.
Okay.
So there's a company called Emerita, E-M-E-R-I-T-A, and you'll find them at all the natural health food stores out there pretty much. And there's a number of other companies that are equally as good, but the Emerita company is one that comes to mind, and they've been on the shelves for quite a while. And these are plant-based from wild yam, which is Dioscorea, which is a terrific herb, and they're very absorbable in these transdermal tissue-assimilated forms. So what I'd recommend is that you want to use some Emerita, E-M-E-R-I-T. Now they make, again, estrogen-based, they make progesterone-based. So I'd recommend at least you start with the Emerita progesterone for starters and see how that works.
Okay, I did see that in Whole Foods, but it says right on the label it causes cancer, so I got a little nervous.
It says what?
It causes cancer.
I don't think it says that.
Something like that in California. It's banned as a.
It may say that it shouldn't be used with folks who have been diagnosed with cancer, and that's certainly true.
Oh, really?
But if you've not been diagnosed, I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Okay. All right, great.
All right.
Yep.
And the other thing I'd say, Karen, too, is if you find that sleep is still a problem, and you have to enhance your nervous system's approach to sleep, you might consider using some tryptophan, 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 and to take 500 milligrams once or twice in the evening. So one 500 milligram tablet or capsule after dinner, and maybe one before bed.
Okay, great.
Thank
you very much.
All right, have a great weekend. Thanks.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. All right, so, one of the things we want to basically do here is come back home and talk a little bit more about this business of fiber, which we kicked off the show with. And let's give the number before we do that. In Boston, New England, 617-822-1969. Verizon Wireless uses free call pound 969. That's for your calls, of course, your questions. And to get back on point here, we talked at the outside of the broadcast about fiber being such an important issue for all of us. And, as I said here, too, that the Tumor Progression Metastases Laboratory, Detroit's Barbara Ann Caramenos Cancer Institute, Dr. Avram Raz and his colleagues recently found that the modified citrus pectin essentially reduced both the size and number of tumors in animal studies. The reason it did that is because it antagonized the sugary surface galactans that the cancer attaches itself to. Folks, here's the key, that cancer attaches itself to these sugary proteins, these surface galactans, and as it attaches to these sticky proteins, that's where it stabilizes and roots itself so that it is capable then of spreading. So what they found is that the pectin from citrus pectin actually neutralizes those sugary sticky galactans that cancer roots itself to, and it really eradicates it, pulls it out of the body. Also, a study by Dr. Stephen Strum and Mark Scholes found some pretty impressive results. They were feeding 15 grams doses per day to prostate cancer subjects with rapidly rising PSA, of course, prostate-specific antigen PSA numbers. Everybody knows what those are. But all the subjects were closely monitored for 3, 6, and 12-month intervals, and a significant reduction in PSA response was noted in 60% of the subjects in this particular study. And again, that was Strum and Scholes. And again, 15-gram doses of citrus pectin orally per day. A significant reduction in PSA was noted in 60% of the subjects in this particular study. Another study by Brad Guess, a physician's assistant at prostate oncology specialist in California, reported similar findings. And his work was published in the journal Prostate Cancer and Prostatic Diseases. And once again, lowering PSA is now another issue that we're talking about with regards to fiber and pectin. You want to lower those PSAs. We get calls here on this broadcast quite readily regarding gentlemen who are looking to lower their PSAs. One of the very, very best ways to do that very thing is to administer natural fruit fiber pectins, which again you can purchase over the counter at the health food stores. And certainly we want to encourage everybody out there to increase the apple consumption and the fruit consumptions in their diets as well. All right? And important too, if you're going to take those pectins, as we said earlier, the time of day is extremely important. A lot of folks are going to be taking their pectins with their vitamins in the morning. Not a great idea because, again, these pectins have a very sort of, I guess I could say that they sort of wrap up a lot of the supplements. They sort of gather up bad things in the body and move bad things like toxic metals and fats and whatnot out of the body, but they also can wrap up good things as well, like your vitamins, your medications, and also escort them out of the body, which is not a good idea. So the way we kind of neutralize that problem is to get the pectins administered before bed, because, again, before bedtime, you don't have to worry about wrapping up all those supplements and pulling them out of the body, undesirably so. So we're talking with you this evening about pectin, and again, earlier on the broadcast, we mentioned that the University of Illinois just recently published a study regarding the soluble fiber in apples, which have the ability to literally change the personality of immune cells from angry, inflammatory cells. And that's exactly the reference that the author of the study used, and spoke of it in those very, very terms, that the personality of our immune cells from angry inflammatory cells to healthy anti-inflammatory cells is precisely what the fibers in apple that they studied were able to do. And this particular study was an animal study. 2 groups of mice were fed identical low-fat diets, except one group was fed fiber. And they were both infected intentionally by researchers. And then after 6 weeks, the 2 groups were significantly different in terms of their ability to recover. And the fiber-based animals recovered significantly faster than those who were not administered fiber. So interesting stuff. And again, anti-inflammatory, very powerful when you think about the fact that 72% of all disease, 72% of all disease is indeed inflammatory. So we're talking about an anti-inflammatory over-the-counter agent found in your natural health food stores. So muy importante. All right, we're going to take a short little break. I'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Friend us on Facebook. Link up at 969bostontalks.com.
Have you ever felt your intuition as a spiritual sense? Or experienced the life-changing power of gratitude? Are you drawn to spirituality, but not religion? Meet Mother Claire Watts, spiritual master teacher at the Center of Light in Framingham on the weekend of June 9th through the 11th. Mother Claire is giving 3 interactive seminars on topics related to those who want something more in life. The Center of Light is located at 85 Edgell Road in Framingham. For more information, email boston@centersoflight.org. That's boston@centersoflight.org. Or call 617-990-7411. 617-990-7411. Make plans now to meet Mother Claire Watts, spiritual master teacher at the Center of Light in Framingham on the weekend of June 9th through the 11th. Come see for yourself the possibilities of deeper peace, healing, and connection.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health. We believe that sometimes less is more. When it comes to proper digestion, energy, brain, and nerve health, we love B12. Fantastic for bursitis, carpal tunnel, knee, joint, and back pain. Not all B12s are created equal. Some of our best sellers include No Shot Sublingual. They're small but potent and provide the nutrients you need fast. Mega Food Balanced B12 is vital for energy and metabolism of fats and proteins. Methyl B12 by Jarrow Formulas is perhaps the gold standard. These sweet vegetarian nuggets protect nerve and brain tissues. The methyl form also promotes sleep. At Good Health, you can purchase all your natural vitamins and sports supplements, clean cosmetics, and natural groceries, and never pay regular retail. We believe in everyday low prices. We think your family deserves the best. So shop at Good Health in Quincy or Hanover. For store hours and locations, or to learn more about our monthly specials, visit goodhealthnaturalfood.com. For everything organic and gluten-free, it's Good Health.
Have you ever felt your intuition as a spiritual sense? Or experienced the life-changing power of gratitude? Are you drawn to spirituality, but not religion? Meet Mother Claire Watts, Spiritual Master Teacher at the Center of Light in Framingham on the weekend of June 9th through the 11th. Mother Claire is giving 3 interactive seminars on topics related to those who want something more in life. The Center of Light is located at 85 Edgell Road in Framingham. For more information, email boston@centersoflight.org. That's boston@centersoflight.org. Or call 617-990-7411. 617-990-7411. Make plans now to meet Mother Claire Watts, Spiritual Master Teacher at the Center of Light in Framingham on the weekend of June 9th through the 11th. Come see for yourself the possibilities of deeper peace, healing, and connection.
Now back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover.
Mother Claire Watts is the co-director of a mystical Christian school and order called the Order of Christ Sophia. She is an ordained master teacher and priest, holding a master's degree in counseling, psychology, postgraduate training in Jungian analysis, and a certified professional midwife. She lives in Seattle, and she is the author of Giving Birth to God, A Woman's Path to Enlightenment, a remarkable person, and we're fortunate to have her here on the Natural Health Show. Mother Claire Watts, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. Happy to be here.
Wonderful to have you. Can you give a brief history of the Centers of Light and their offerings, please?
Yes. We actually had our beginnings right there in Boston. I did live in Boston for 17 years, and I had been studying and growing in my own mystical Christian path. I actually started in my early 20s living in yoga ashrams and then to a Sufi training school, and to my own horror ended up finding the kind of spiritual teachers and training I wanted in a Christian context, which was not at all what I wanted. I was very reactive to Christianity, so it was initially a difficult adaptation, but I found there that I was actually having an individual teaching. I could have teachers teach me, and that there were the initiations and the teaching I wasn't getting in the yoga ashram. So that was in 99. We formed this order, and first we started with one center in Boston and one in Milwaukee, and we've since spread out to having being in 13 cities across the country.
Very, very interesting. And a lot of folks out there, of course, probably not familiar with Christian mysticism. So what is Christian mysticism, and how is it different from other spiritual religious approaches or practices?
Mark, you know, all the major world religions have a mystical aspect, a mystical branch to them. So in Judaism it's called Kabbalah, and in Islam it's called Sufism, and Buddhism and Hinduism have various branches that one could call that forms of Zen. In Christianity, it doesn't have a separate name. It's just called Christian mysticism. And so the mystics of all the religious paths have always been much more interested in people having a direct experience of the spiritual world and of God. And what they know comes from the direct experience instead of from somebody else's telling of it or some teachings and dogma. So Christian mysticism just means that we work and help people to come to their own individual direct experience of God. So what they know is no longer just based on other people's renditions, but on their own experience, and it's within the context of Christianity.
And you are a master teacher, and as a master teacher in spiritual transformation, how do you help people actually grow spiritually? How does that all play out?
We do a combination of things. Both of us who are co-directors of this order, I and Father Peter Bowes, are both psychologists, and we see a great value to psychological and emotional work needing to be done too. If people just develop spiritually and not take care of the psychological and emotional problems, then it's going to be a problem. And on the other hand, if people only do psychological work, they never actually reach healing, because healing lies in the domain of the spiritual, not the psychological. So we work with both of those together, and we work directly. We have priests in all of our teachers who are in all of our centers who are trained to work very directly with teaching classes, with offering what comes through sacraments, which is kind of the ineffable, that which is beyond mind but goes right to the soul. And and people, after they've started up, they can actually have one-on-one teaching from the priests there, where they have individual meetings and individual spiritual assignments and practices, and they get helped along the way.
Mother Claire, tell us a little bit about your upcoming seminars in Framingham. What can people expect if they show up there? Well,
I'm teaching on several topics, and the one is on intuition as a spiritual sense, how people can actually learn to be in touch with their intuition and come to know it as one of their spiritual senses. Giving a talk also on gratitude and the absolute transformative power and necessity of coming into an attitude of gratitude if people are going to become whole and healthy in body, mind, heart, and soul. And then I'm going to talk about spirituality versus religion in another one of the seminars, because there's a ton of people, I think, in our country now who feel they're spiritual but not religious, and I'm going to address how to be actively spiritual, not just a general vague sense of being spiritual, but actually step onto a spiritual path that is transformative and where you can actually be moving ahead in what is really spiritual.
And how exactly will these presentations differ from, how can folks expect them to be different than, typical self-help or New Age or various other seminars, self-help seminars that are going on out there these days?
I think what is mostly different is we tend to have pretty small groups, and people can ask very direct questions that have to do with them. And I'm not speaking from something I read somewhere or somebody's theory. I'm speaking from what I know and what I can see in people that may be their next step and what they need to do and what's in the way and what to move along, so they can get very direct answers to questions they may have never been able to get answers to before, and very direct advice for them personally.
And I'm really intrigued by the title of your book, Giving Birth to God, A Woman's Path to Enlightenment. Please explain a little bit more about that. Sounds incredible.
It's the first book. I've written another one since then. That first book, Giving Birth to God, is about the mystical path. It's my own autobiographical story intermixed with teachings. Throughout history, women have been known to pass down teachings through stories. So it's the story of my life, of how I came along and came through my own spiritual development, and then what are the teachings that apply at the different places. And I go all the way through the initiations I received and all the way to where I was ordained a master teacher, and what that process is and how it applies to other people.
My
second
incredible.
book is called Mystical Roses of Peace, and is a compilation of addressing numerous different subjects on the mystical Christian path.
And if folks are interested in finding out more about your work, why don't you let them know how they can do that?
We're online. We have a website called Centers of Light, Centers with the S on the end, centersoflight.org. And they can check us out on our website and read a lot more about what we do and who we are.
Also, please let folks know a little bit more about the details regarding your Framingham presentations that are upcoming.
We have a center in Framingham right on Edgell Road. It's one of the main exits off of Route 9. Most people know where it is, and you just go up a block and so. You can call a number to ask more about anything there, and the number is 617-990-7411. That's 617-990-7411. And someone will be able to answer your questions.
Mother Claire Watts, thank you so much, and please say hello to Father Peter for us.
Thank you very much. Have
Appreciate
a good day.
It. Thank you, you too. Bye-bye. We're going to take a short little break. We'll be right back with your questions, and Charlie Natick, hang in there. Stay on board.
Wake up and connect.
Wake up and connect with NECN's Morning News.
Good morning. I'm Eric Weber.
And I'm Christy Lee. Thanks for joining us.
The latest news, weather, and traffic. The best way to start your day. Watch it.
Watch it.
Hear it.
Hear it.
NECN's Morning News. 4:30 till Jim and Marjorie at 6.
On 96.9 Boston Talks.
Have you ever felt your intuition as a spiritual sense? Or experienced the life-changing power of gratitude? Are you drawn to spirituality, but not religion? Meet Mother Claire Watts, spiritual master teacher at the Center of Light in Framingham on the weekend of June 9th through the 11th. Mother Claire is giving 3 interactive seminars on topics related to those who want something more in life. The Center of Light is located at 85 Edgell Road in Framingham. For more information, email boston@centersoflight.org. That's boston@centersoflight.org. Or call 617-990-7411. 617-990-7411. Make plans now to meet Mother Claire Watts, spiritual master teacher at the Center of Light in Framingham on the weekend of June 9th through the 11th. Come see for yourself the possibilities of deeper peace, healing, and connection.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health. We believe that sometimes less is more. When it comes to proper digestion, energy, brain, and nerve health, we love B12. Fantastic for bursitis, carpal tunnel, knee, joint, and back pain. Not all B12s are created equal. Some of our best sellers include No Shot Sublingual. They're small but potent and provide the nutrients you need fast. Mega Food Balanced B12 is vital for energy and metabolism of fats and proteins. Methyl B12 by Jarrow Formulas is perhaps the gold standard. These sweet vegetarian nuggets protect nerve and brain tissues. The methyl form also promotes sleep. At Good Health, you can purchase all your natural vitamins and sports supplements, clean cosmetics, and natural groceries and never pay regular retail. We believe in everyday low prices. We think your family deserves the best. So shop at Good Health in Quincy or Hanover. For store hours and locations or to learn more about our monthly specials, visit goodhealthnaturalfood.com. For everything organic and gluten-free, it's Good Health.
Have you ever felt your intuition as a spiritual sense? Or experienced the life-changing power of gratitude? Are you drawn to spirituality, but not religion? Meet Mother Claire Watts, spiritual master teacher at the Center of Light in Framingham on the weekend of June 9th through the 11th. Mother Claire is giving 3 interactive seminars on topics related to those who want something more in life. The Center of Light is located at 85 Edgell Road in Framingham. For more information, email boston@centersoflight.org. That's boston@centersoflight.org. Or call 617-990-7411. 617-990-7411. Make plans now to meet Mother Claire Watts, spiritual master teacher at the Center of Light in Framingham on the weekend of June 9th through the 11th. Come see for yourself the possibilities of deeper peace, healing, and connection.
Now back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover.
All right, let's take Charlie in Natick for his great patience. We thank you, Charlie.
Okay, thank you. I was wondering what supplements you would recommend for someone who says the pressure in their eyes is high. Not the blood pressure, but the eye pressure.
Right, yeah, sure. Well, you could try there's a product called Carnosee, Carnosee. C-A-R-N-O-S-E-E, and it's carnosine, and it's an amino acid, and sometimes it can be very, very helpful for that eye pressure. I know Good Health Natural Foods has it, and they are drops, and you can just follow directions on there, and again, increase the antioxidant support in your eyes. And a lot of folks actually have used that for a variety of different eye problems and had great success. You might give that a try.
You say Good Health has that?
They do indeed.
Yeah, okay. How about irritable bowel? Any?
Your IBS, you certainly want to go to, we always talk about our wonderful sponsors from Allotest Medical Labs and get your foods tested because, again, you want to get to the reason why the IBS is there, because if you don't really correct the reason and you just want to mask over it, you're going to really cause yourself some problems. So I think you want to get to the bottom of it. Is it wheat? Is it dairy? What is it? How inflammatory is it? Again, it's going to measure your immune globulin G inflammation from, really low numbers like in the 200s all the way up to like the 900s. So So those foods that are over 200 are inflammatory. How high are they? How inflammatory is that wheat or dairy? You got to withdraw those things. They put you on a complete rotation diet and everything. It's a terrific program. I advise that you go on the internet and you check out www.foodallergy.com.
And would you need a doctor's prescription for that?
Yeah, you would. Your physician have to recommend that, but I highly, highly recommend that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling. All right, we're right up against that time. We thank everybody for, of course, listening here to the Natural Health Show. Great to have you here with us each and every week. We're here going to be back here again next Sunday, 5 o'clock. And until that time, we want to make sure that we thank producer Patrick Stevens for doing a great job per usual, and intern extraordinary Alex Todorovic for joining on board. And we want to thank, of course, our web and our podcast master, Adam Ing, for making sure that you folks can actually catch up with this show. Go to the website. It's www.maxhealing.com. One word, Max Healing. You can catch these shows in their archives, both in audio or visual, or both, because obviously we have them podcast every Sunday, and you can check out past topics if you've missed anything, or have to grab notes based on anything that we covered during the course of the broadcast.
2 minutes.
And we'd like to thank you for doing that each and every week. I know a lot of folks send us a lot of great emails and everything. You want to also stay tuned for Right Turn Radio with Woody and Abby and their great crew, New England's #1 addiction program. So stay tuned for that. And until next Sunday, this is Mark Mincola reminding you all, please be wise, be aware, be well. Make it a healthy week. Good night.